people say, well, what's your story? Where did it all start? Well, actually, I went to girls' schools until the age of 7, because it was the end of the war, and my mother had taught in the nursery school at a well-known girls' public school in Bristol. So that's where I went. I wasn't aware of sex or gender, really, in those days, and it was just natural to be there. And I went to Clifton High School, a very respectable school. And I was at a conference in Edinburgh last year, and I met a gentleman who had also been to the same school at about the same time. And he said, we reminisced about the physical education teachers we knew, and he then said, but I was unhappy with my body in those days. But I was a girl then. Because I was a fairly lonely person when I grew up. I might have thought I was gay. Again, it was the 1960s, pre-Wolfenden, and one didn't talk about it, even in places like the BBC. I got involved with Benjamin Britten's Billy Budd, which is all-male gay opera, which I was editing as a videotape editor in about 1968 or so. And I asked the producer what I should know about it. And he wouldn't say, go and read Herman Melville's short story. And I was so naive at the time that I didn't realize the gay undercurrents of the whole work. That was the sort of naivety that could exist in those days. Whereas actually probably the whole production team was either gay or lesbian, but that's another story. And we did have one young lad who was a floor assistant, the very lowest of the low, who I saw on several drama productions. And many years later, he made the headlines in the Daily Telegraph when it was reported that he was attending at Her Majesty's pleasure, having been a little too educational when he was a verger in Chichester Cathedral. But as I say, I had actually thought I was gay, explored with it, didn't really understand it. And it was only probably within the last 10 years or so that I really started exploring the transgender world first. First of all was cross-dressing, and then actually realized that I was transsexual. And got into the system and haven't looked back, and the changes to lifestyle have been superb.